I know exactly why you're here. You might be investing in your first metal detector, and you are scouting detectors, and you've heard the buzz on the Nokta Simplex. And you're hoping that one of the talking heads on YouTube will give you an honest review of the Simplex. Well, congratulations, you've come to the right talking head. Yeah, I'm the right talking head because, one, I love metal detecting. Two, I own 16 detectors. I have 8 years of experience, almost 9, in metal detecting. And I don't work for Nokta. In fact, I don't work for any metal detecting company. I'm giving honest reviews, and I'm starting my website, iratemetaldetectors.com. Okay, here's where I'm going to need your attention, your full attention, because under certain circumstances, this could be the right entry-level detector for you. Let me explain. The last few years in metal detecting technology has really been groundbreaking, almost as groundbreaking as the shovels we use. There are new models out that are more efficient and more cost effective. You want mind blow? Let me give you some mind blow here. You know, you buy or lease a new Lexus. Why don't you open up the trunk? You know what you're going to see? You're going to see a Toyota engine. Lexus is a name. Now, Lexus, the car company, is owned by Toyota, the car company, and they have made a more uppity brand that arguably you pay more for the same thing. Of course, in metal detecting, the apple does not fall far from the tree. I wouldn't call Garrett a uppity brand. They are an all-American company, all-American name, and a great success story. But I'm a little perturbed by the pricing of a machine that's been on the market for 10 years right now, which is the AT Pro. It's twice the price of a Simplex. Let's compare. I recently posted a video comparison of these two detectors, which I own and have experience using, and I set up a test garden in my backyard. You could see this video in its entirety if you want, but long story short, there was barely a difference. All of the targets that the AT Pro was able to hit, the Simplex was able to hit, but there's two totally different price targets. I'll link to the video if you hit the I button up top, but let's look at a quick excerpt from that video.
So, quarter, 6 inches, penny 6 inches. No problems. Alright, back to the Garrett. This is the one with the nails. So 2 nails around a coin. And 6 inches this is. I could hear that higher tone. It's in there. That's impressive right there. Notice that the numbers on this one are a lot higher. I saw some low ones in there too, to be honest, to be totally objective. But I think both we would dig. We'd wind up digging. Alright, this is a quarter at 8 inches. You saw it go for a second, all 5 arrows down. Numbers are not accurate, but that's the truth with a lot of machines. It's still reading it at 8 inches. AT Pro quarter at 8 inches. Look at these reeds. There's nothing else in there. I've tested it. Getting blips for the quarter of 10 inches. Let's reground balance. We're in 0. 0 is the mode. Maybe you dig that. And I saw a correct target ID flash. You'd really have to know your machine in order to dig that. Not really picking that one up either. It's getting ground interference too. And I have been pulling stuff. All that's left is, see, all that's left is really tiny stuff. And the machines are both going towards the smaller stuff and ignoring the deeper signal. Took a while, but
So in that short clip, you just saw a $250 machine keep up in every way with a $550 machine. This is not to knock the AT Pro. It is a durable machine. You very rarely hear of that machine breaking, and it has made very many treasure hunters happy over years with years and years of great finds. But my point is, technology has come along, and for a cheaper price, arguably you get more. Here's a graph to make a point. It's cheaper to run the Simplex. So batteries, you'd have to get regular batteries and replace them with the AT Pro. You can charge the Simplex, so there's one cost that goes out the window. Night hunting, it's a lot tougher. I mean, I suppose you could get a headlamp and you could see the screen that way, but the Simplex has a backlight and a flashlight. I love that flashlight. It is so useful. I have used it at night on days that my headlamp I totally forget to charge. And the battery life on the Simplex is ridiculously good. So far we have made the point that the Simplex is arguably better than more expensive detectors from a generation ago. In the next part of this video, I'm going to compare it with what I consider it to be its closest rivals for entry-level detectors. But first, I want to give you a tour of the Simplex. All right, simplicity in use. I like the way that this is set up. The numbers are jumping, by the way, because we have nails in the floor here, and it's freezing outside, so I'm not really, yeah, I have the volume all the way down. But take a look at this. If you want to get through the bottom, you know, such as adjust the volume or, you know, move through this is ground balance. If you want to get through this, it's this button here down there. This gets you, the gear button gets you across the bottom. And actually here, take a look at this. Let's go to that light. So watch this. How cool is this? It's got a flashlight. See that on the floor there? That is like next level thinking with this. And these are the other settings that you have. So you got 4 levels of volume, ground balance. You can do it either by pumping the coil or manually. You need to have that really tuned in order to maximize the capabilities of the detector. I don't want anybody to worry about that last statement. And when you switch modes, such as from park to beach, back and forth, or to field, it has a recommended ground balance already built in. So you don't have to manually pump the coil in order to do that. I do think it helps, but we're talking about it. If you're brand new, don't stress it. That's something you'll learn later on. Iron volume, it helps you really know if there is iron in the signal, and you can adjust that. Really simple explanation of that. Here's high iron volume. There's iron! Here's low iron volume. There's iron. Everybody has their own preference, okay? And it's a beep. It's not somebody yelling, there's iron, obviously. But iron is like the interfering ghost of metal detecting signals. If it's in the ground, it can mask good targets, and it can also make you think that you have a good target when you're on the edge of the iron. So it's helpful to know to have that beep in there that tells you, okay, the detector is sensing iron. Notch, disc, you can say certain numbers. We don't want to dig aluminum foil, or we don't want to dig targets that ring up at a certain number. If you're a new detectorist, I would advise you to start to dig everything and really start to train your ears. Guess what? I'm almost 9 years in, and I'm only starting to train my ears. That's what's taking me to the next level this year. The inferences that you make from the sounds, you hear them better with headphones. And in terms of the numbers, I like to hear everything that's there, because you could you could have a signal that is the same number as that pull tab that you just pulled up, that you spent 10 minutes digging up when you're first starting. And it could be a gold ring this time. Midtones, that's where the gold is. That's where a lot of the valuable stuff is. I barely notch when I detect, but that's a whole nother side tangent. Frequency shift for EMI. So let's say that you walk into an EMI zone. I'm a newbie. What's EMI? Good question. Electromagnetic interference. You can switch the frequency so that if it's getting interfered with, you just shift it to another channel, and that could help eliminate any EMI. Think about it. Cell phone towers, power lines, above ground or below ground. There are various items, various things that can interfere with your highly sensitive detector. And switching channels is one way that you can combat electromagnetic interference. Wireless, you have the option of purchasing your own wireless headphones, or you can get the ones that come with it for another $100, I believe. You could put vibration on. Vibration might be a little bit overkill, and to be honest, I've never really used it because it kind of feels like a PlayStation controller. When I hate it when that vibrates. But all I need to hear is the sound. But vibration, I guess that can give you another clue as to how deep a target is, or if it's on the surface, or the size. It probably mimics the ring up sound that's there. It's just another interesting twist that this detector offers. Brightness, so you can adjust the screen, and then there's the awesome flashlight.
All right, these two are depth and sensitivity. Right now, it's going crazy. Again, we have nails on the floor. I told you that already. Why am I telling you again? Anywho, you want to turn down the sensitivity. It's just the up and down buttons here. Sensitivity up, sensitivity down. And the gauge over here, this is depth. So I'm going to do my best on this. I got the bed springs that are messing this up a little bit. But if you have a signal that is very close, you'll see the depth gauge over here. It is
very close to the top. And as the signal moves away, I'm moving the coin, it's all the way down. So that's the depth gauge right there. Now get ready for mind blow again. You can plug this detector into your computer and you could download the latest algorithmic updates from Nokta. And one of the new updates has been really helpful because it gives you a mineralization bar. So this bad boy over here is the mineralization bar. We don't have it set up right here now. But the higher the amount of mineralization that there is in the soil, the more that the depth is going to be compromised. So think about it. If you get that, dirt that you get from a garden center that really has no objects in it whatsoever that can interfere with signals, oh, you're going to get the deepest stuff. But, throw in some iron, throw in some eroded rocks, throw in bottle caps. New York is made of bottle caps. Stuff that can really interfere with these super sensitive machines, and it's going to affect the depth. To switch modes, it is just these buttons and it keeps changing. And you have field, park 1, park 2, you have beach, and you have a relic mode. And the ones, this will be your deepest mode, the field one. And also the park 2 I tend to like also. The field one is a little bit more difficult for a beginner, and it's very dependent upon your ears. So I would say for a beginner, I would stick to Park 1 or Park 2. I prefer Park 2. Now, on my channel, I have used this machine for a whole bunch of hunts. And up in the corner of the screen, there is an I button. I'm going to, instead of putting more excerpts from the hunts, I'm going to link to the hunts and I'm going to tell you, did I find silver with this machine? Absolutely. How deep does it go? You could get, I would say in New York soil, 9, 10 inches. 9 inches, I'll say, is the max that you're going to get. I know there was that 10 inch quarter that I showed you before. That was a little bit iffy, but you might dig that. So 9, 10 inches you can get under regular circumstances in New York. Separation. Now that's something, if you're a new detectorist, you're like, wait, what? What is that? Think about this. In a place like New York, you're going to get a lot of different objects. Put two different objects under the same coil, you're going to need to have a machine that can process both. And there's a machine out there that I consider to be the gold standard for metal detecting right now, the Minelab Equinox, which is just so good with that. I would say for target separation, I would say that the Simplex is a good 70-75% of an Equinox. It's not perfect. Stuff does get affected, but the Equinox, it starts at $650. But basically what I want you to know from this section, it is a capable separation machine. This is not a toy. This is a real, legit detector. If you're brand new to detecting, this is one that you should consider. Now, let's get advanced for a second here. What are some of the drawbacks that I see with the Simplex? Where are there problems that other detectors could be better? It has an operating frequency of 12 kilohertz.
Hey, what do you have against the number 12? That was my number in baseball.
I have nothing against the number 12. It's that there are competitors that are simultaneous multi-frequency detectors. The best detectors that I see that are out on the market today have the ability to merge frequencies and isolate frequencies, meaning you could choose one at a time or put them all together. Now here's what you need to know. Low frequency have longer wavelengths, gets greater depth as long waves penetrate the ground more easily. Better for detecting high conductivity targets like silver, also like copper. Not good for finding smaller targets. Not good for low conductivity targets like gold or iron. High frequency, and I guess you could consider 12 to be in that Goldilocks zone that's in between where it could get the low targets and the high targets. But high frequency have shorter wavelengths, great for detecting small objects like tiny gold nuggets, better for low conductivity targets like gold and iron. Less depth is achieved than low frequency, higher accuracy, closer to the surface, more sensitive to ground mineralization interference. I know your head, if you're new, your head might be spinning a little bit right now, and I will make it simple just a little bit. Just trust me. I will tell you this and go as far as say I can't say promise because I can't swing the detector for you, but this is a darn good value for a detector. I don't think that you could go wrong with this detector with use. You will find good stuff with this detector, whether it is the beach, whether it is a lake, whether it is a park, a field, you'll find good stuff. So here's the can of worms that we are opening up right now. Yes, it is a phenomenal, phenomenal value that you're getting for $250. It is better than a lot of the older models that are still on the market right now, such as the Garrett AT Pro. But there's also new models such as the Garrett Apex, the Minelab Vanquish. I have the 540. And there's two lower models of this too that are multi-frequency and essentially the same price, by the way. But I could only compare the 540 because I have that. And then you have what I consider to be the gold standard. You can get an Equinox 600 for $649. That's the one that I use the most. Then there's the Minelab 800, Equinox 800, which has an additional mode and more configuration that I'm starting to see as important. Now you can adjust the recovery speed. I'm making your head spin again if you're new to detecting. But long story short, if you are on a beach, you're going to want a simultaneous multi-frequency detector. We're talking about a saltwater beach, not a lake, beach that's freshwater. You'll be absolutely fine with the Simplex if you're hunting in the park and if you're hunting in fresh water. If you are by a beach, I would encourage you to go towards one of these models if you're looking for an intro level detector. Now, notice what's here. I have price, so Simplex 252, Garrett Apex 424, Vanquish 540, 369, and we're moving up to the Equinoxes. I'm going to leave them out of this because they're really in a different price range. But target separation for the Simplex, I rate that, believe it or not, better than these two, despite the cheaper price. Better target separation than the Apex and the Vanquish. Maximum target depth. I also, it's comparable. The Vanquish goes deeper, and it's at 369. It's beach capable. It would be just that. And when I said at the beginning of the video, it might be the perfect detector for you, that's what I'm alluding to. I have two videos of me using the Simplex on a saltwater beach. Did I find anything? Yeah, I did. And again, these are all linked up top to, you hit the I button and you can watch them. But I'm going to give you a quick summary. Yes, I found stuff with it. It was a lot more efficient with a simultaneous multi-frequency machine. It's night and day. So you could get stuff on the beach, in the dry of the beach, no problem, and in the high wet, no problem. But it gets all sort of chattery. The Simplex gets all sorts of chattery the closer that you get to the water. All right, you ready for your head to spin some more? Check this out. Now, I added another row to this chart. Is the detector submersible? Meaning, can you use it underwater? The Simplex, despite the $250 price, yes, you can. But you're not going to be very happy using it at a saltwater beach. It will false on you, and you will not get, even reads with that detector at a saltwater beach. Best case is if you turn the ground balance to 0. Yes, I have tried that. I have definitely tried that. And Simplex users are passionate people. I'm telling you, I've swung all of these detectors. There is a difference. It is not the same on a saltwater beach as the Apex, the Vanquish, and the Equinoxes. So if you're going for saltwater detecting at saltwater beach, you want to go, one of these over here. Even though you could submerge this one. Equinoxes you can too. Just these are great in the wet. Just don't get the box underwater. But I promised I'd make it easy on you. So in conclusion, buy the Simplex if you live away from the ocean. It's amazing in lakes and in parks and fields. It is not amazing at saltwater beaches, but it is usable. Buy the Apex or Vanquish. I slightly prefer the Apex if you intend to hunt saltwater beaches as well as land. It's really a toss-up with that. Some people do prefer the Vanquish, and I've got reviews on both of these detectors too, by the way. So you can check those out on my channel too. Buy the Equinox if you know that you will stay with detecting and want the best detector on the market right off the bat. That is my favorite. That's my highest rated detector.
What?
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 What in the world?
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 A lot of dirt, a lot of water, and you can metal detect it all.
No dirt, no water, no anything. You want to know the great thing about detectors, other than having turtles follow you? It's that if you use them, you're guaranteed to make your initial investment back. The amount of quarters that I have found, the amount of cool stuff. I mean, just in, what do you want? Ow! That was too hard. The amount of coins that I found just change over $2,000 in the last 2 years. So you really can't go wrong. Don't overthink it. Get a metal detector. Okay?
I won't. Because you kill us with metal and detecting.
I don't kill turtles.
You killed a seagull.
A few worms, yes, but that actually feeds seagulls. Ow! Cut it out. Coming soon to the merch store.
You will see him and him dating.
I'm not dating a turtle. I'm dating your mother. I'm not even dating your mother. I'm married to your mother.
You will.
She says I'm dating a turtle. Can hold on. Can you turn around like supermodel? There you go. Check it out. Check it out. Oh, keep turning. Keep turning. MD NYC. It's blocking it. Whoa.